This is Hot Mike with Todd, huh? All right, NC Baptist, thank you for listening to the podcast. We're doing something completely different. I am answering your questions on the fly. So am I just grabbing and reading? Here we go. All right. Here we go. Fear and trembling. All right. Better get my reading glasses for this one. Or for all of them, probably. What is your favorite way someone has pronounced your last name? I would say number one, unzipper. Number two, rewind to the beginning of 2024. What had you hoped NC Baptist would accomplish this year that we did? The easiest one for me to think about, what would I have hoped we would accomplish, is that if disaster was to strike our state, NC Baptist would lead the way in helping those in need. We saw that with Hurricane Helene. We're talking over 40,000 meals served a day. We're talking about 10,000 volunteers signed up in the first 3 weeks. And just the way NC Baptist responded with Hurricane Helene was just incredible. On Mission Together is, you kind of worry when you have been in this role over 3 years. Is On Mission Together just a slogan that we're saying? No, it's who NC Baptist were. So I hope I'm doing this right. I'm just grabbing these off. As you travel the state, you get to experience new food. What's your favorite NC restaurant? Wow. Fantastic question. I love it when I do go to other churches and places and they give me recommendations or take me to those places. It's great. Man, there's so many good ones. I don't get in the whole barbecue debate. I like it all. Good question. If you were to pull for anyone other than the Georgia Bulldogs, who would you pull for? Will they win the national championship? I really do pull for the Tar Heels. That's my family's adopted team. There's some people sitting off camera right now who are Wolfpack fans. My daughter roots for the Wolfpack, so we have a divided household. Will they win the national championship? No way. All right, what were some of your favorite ways you saw firsthand NC Baptist serve their communities this year through Serve NC? Great question. Firsthand one. So I got to see a lot because you all sent a lot of those in. But firsthand, I remember being in Winston-Salem and watching a church. Actually, I think it was a group of churches. There were a lot of people. It was a church that was specifically trying to help a under-resourced school. And they were already doing great projects. I got to help them out and see what they were doing. I walk in, it's super quiet, all this, but I run into like a whole bunch of teachers, kind of having like a teachers meeting. And I just said to them, hey guys, thanks for letting us serve you. And to listen to the teachers talk about what these service projects would do in the lives of their students was like, it was just phenomenal, just incredible. I mean, Serve NC, over 1,200 different churches participated in that. There's 100 counties in North Carolina, and 92% of the counties had service projects from our churches. And so there's something we celebrate a lot in what God was doing through Serve NC. We've seen an increase in summer camp attendance this year. What encourages you most about that? An increase to this question is, to say the least. We actually had a record number of attendance, the highest in the history of Be Do Tell. All three of our camps' attendance were up. We saw over 200 college students that were trained at the Call Conference last year. That is just incredible. Said you traveled across Western North Carolina following Hurricane Helene. How did you see NC Baptist living out our On Mission Together spirit? Another great question. Obviously, this topic is, I think when most of us think of 2024, we're going to think of Hurricane Helene, which was a historic, unprecedented storm. Just seeing the way people stepped up to serve and just kind of laid down their own priorities to go and help those in need was absolutely incredible. Nearly $10 million has been given in total response efforts through giving to serve things like Serve NC. And if you're listening to this, you can do that as well. All of that money will go to help in Western North Carolina. And a total of over 450,000 meals were served in Western North Carolina. Says, what are some of the ways you've seen NC Baptist live out our mission in 2024? Well, I mentioned a bunch of it. with the storm. We see reaching the next generation. I mentioned about church planting. I think about Coats for the City. Coats for the City, NC Baptist, you collected more than 9,000 coats that went to Western North Carolina for those in need there, but the majority of them going to New York City. There were over 230 NC Baptists who went up on a short-term mission trip to be a part of this, where those coats were distributed between 27 church plants in and among the 5 boroughs of New York City. We see all the people at the disciple-making conference last year. That's what I will remember about this year, is seeing that synergy really moving forward, and I think what separates what God is doing here from a lot of other places. So, what have we been able to accomplish this year because of the generosity of NC Baptist? Everything. I remember saying the night I was elected 3.5 years ago, I remember saying, generosity is contagious and so is stinginess. Generosity is contagious because it follows what God did for us. And that's what we celebrate at the Christmas season, is that God sent his son for us, that even though we had nothing, we can now have everything. And I think what we're seeing in the generosity is so many things that would not happen if churches and individuals didn't say, you know what, we want to be on mission together. So we saw over 60 pastors and leaders placed with Christian counselors during our faith-based counseling pilot program. We were able to place additional 2 ultrasound machines in local pregnancy resource centers. We saw over 130 churches engaged in the revitalization process. We also saw, not only with all those revitalized churches, but we saw 42 Send NC churches planted this past year. No, I now should go to this last question, but just know this. A, thank you, and B, NC Baptists want to work where our measuring stick is how much can we give away? How much can we give away that multiplies the kingdom? And so that is really the heartbeat of all that we're doing. All right, last but certainly not least, what are you most looking forward to in 2025? A few things. What am I most looking forward to? Number one, I am looking forward to seeing how many homes NC Baptists can help rebuild to get those who are still homeless in Western North Carolina into their homes. I'm looking forward to the Disciple Making Conference that will be happening in the second month, February 25th, being together like that. I'm excited about Serve NC, August 2nd through the 9th. I think year one was incredible, and I think we're going to see even more churches. I'd love to see all 100 counties have service projects, and maybe we can make that a goal for this upcoming year. And I always love Fill the Tank Weekend. That's going to be April 27th. I am looking forward to so much, and I'm looking forward to what God's going to do that's more than we could ask or imagine. He says for us to pray big prayers like that. And so that's what I'm going to be praying for in 2025. Thank you for listening to the podcast. It's been a challenging year, but a rewarding year. It's been a year that NC Baptists are really leading the way across the country. And I am grateful for each and every one of you, whether you're in North Carolina or not. I want us all to know that for the name and fame of Jesus Christ, let's go be on mission together. Thanks.